Hey, let's see if I can get this in here without any major distractions. But something I was thinking about is imagine you're on a ship, right? And you don't need to make a sound, but you're telepathic. And all the other individuals that are, say, in your ship, zooming across the cosmos, right? You're aware of what they're aware of. In other words, it's sort of like you're operating off an information network. And we're all using the information that we need to be aware of at the time we need to be aware of it in order to do what it is that we do. Like mapping a universe, right? Okay, so we're independent units, but we work collectively in collaboration with each other for the benefit of the entire universe. Okay, so I'll give you a personal example of how that sort of works, that I had the great opportunity to see it, because remember, there are a lot of different ways in which you can teach. You know, if you come into the planet, you see how the girl does what she does, and that becomes what I call a demo model. Okay, so we can give a report card on a demo model, right? Remember, value, priceless, right? Peace of mind is priceless because it's timeless, right? Okay, so in this particular case, I actually was right here in Grants Pass, Oregon. I had spent, 12 years working for the U.S. Forest Service. So one of the reasons, like when I first went and did that kind of work, I was 17 years of age, right out of high school. I had experienced what was known as the Paseo Grande fire, and that was in Southern California. It started in Riverside, burned all the way across the top of the mountains, all the way down to El Toro, okay, and took out about 250 homes not far from where I lived. So we ran up there to volunteer, right? Okay, so I worked on that fire all day long when I was a freshman in high school. Loved it. Loved to chase fire. There's a big spirit of fire in me, naturally, right? Creation, orgasmic stuff, right? Banging out stars and stuff that's bigger than that. That's why I was always looking for a spiritual warrior down here. Hey, you want to bang out a star together? We can do that, you know? I thought I found her twice, but it wasn't to be because that wasn't how my timeline was supposed to unfold. So the experience was like this. When I was 17 and I'm looking at all the pictures inside of a bulletin board of a volunteer fire station that was next door that was part of ours, and we were permanent, full-time firefighters working for CAL FIRE. And I'm looking at all these guys that work in fire prevention, work in hill attack, air tankers, structural fire engines, and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, man, I want to experience all that. I got to do all of it. Right? I thought maybe someday I'll be a fire chief, right? So this is sort of how we translate this. Years later, when I worked at El Carrizo Station, which is on the Cleveland National Forest, the captain of the fire engine was gone that day. Well, I knew how to operate the fire pump. I knew how to drive the truck because I had a license to be able to do that. So because the fire captain wasn't on that day, which means he's crew boss rated by the U.S. government, which means you have to have certain credentials and experience and training to do that job, because you're not going to be able to take 4 or 5 people out on a fire and you don't have enough knowledge in your head to be able to know how to protect them and put the fire out. So I had a lot of experience doing that when I got there. So we got a call out about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We get down on what is it, Interstate 15 between El Carrizo, which is Lake Elsinore, California, and Corona. And you could see it running across from one end of the rolling hills with a lot of grass that was 4 foot high and brush. And when we got off the freeway, there was a battalion chief, BC, from Riverside County Fire, CAL FIRE, on a contract base that said, hey, you guys got to go up there and protect that ranch house, sitting up on a little bluff. So we get up there, and the guy that was assigned to our engine that day worked on a hotshot crew, which means chainsaws and hand tools to cut fire line, but he's never worked on an engine. Now he's in charge of an engine crew. So anyway, when we got up there, the first order that he gave, because that fire was coming up that hill, so we don't have much time, or otherwise that house is gone, which means what? That family and those children that come home are not going to find a home. So I'm picturing that in my mind at the time in which all this is happening at a very high rate of speed. I don't want to manifest that, right? I want them to be able to come home to that home. So he said, hey, you guys, grab the hard lines. The hard line is, on our particular engine, was 3/4 of an inch holes, what's known as steel jacketed, which means you can high pressure hose, right? And because it's resistant, chemically resistance, it means it's going to be pretty hard to burn through it and bust your hose and you lose your water. So I countermanded the order and looked around me and said to them, grab the 1.5 inch, hook up a supply line to an 1.5 inch standpipe, keep the tank full, and we're going to grab 2 1/2 inches, one around each side of the house. And the bottom line was, we saved it. So guess what happened? The next day I get called to the carpet. And he happened to be the assistant fire management officer of that district. And he said, listen, what you did was correct. You made the correct decision based on your knowledge. And the other guy was making a decision, who was the commander, made the wrong decision.
That'd be something John we have
So
to see.
this is sort of how I found myself later on in Grants Pass when I was interviewed for a job, and I realized that now I've got a lot more guys under my command. So one of the things that I did when I introduced myself to all these guys, I said, listen, with me, I take the rank and file stuff off of me, which is hierarchical. Okay? Put my uniform shirt with bars on it and all the insignia and the patches and all that, and I put it in a locker. Okay? Because the way it works is that I've had a lot of experience because I'm an experiencer. So that means that I know what works and what doesn't. Okay? But we're a team here. We collaborate together because we're trying to achieve a common objective. So this isn't about I'm higher than you and you're lower than me and all that. We're together. We're collaborating together for the benefit of each other and the benefit of everybody, which means the cosmos, right? So guess what happened? I guess it was about a month later, there was a structure fire in the middle of the night. And I said, man, I got to go there. Well, I'd been drinking some beer early in the evening, and so what ends up happening is when I got there, somebody smelled alcohol on me, turns me in. So what ends up happening, he says, listen, we can't have that, okay? So I said, okay, I'll see you later. Well, what do you think the crew did? This was the biggest compliment of what it means of how people, particularly males in this case, because I didn't have any females on the crew at the time, because there wasn't any that applied, okay? Although I'd love to have females on my crew because I've had before. That's a whole nother story. I'll insert that real quick. Back in the day when they were wanting to sort of promote minority hiring, well, all of a sudden one day I was informed that guess what? On your firefighting crew, on an engine with the Forest Service, we're giving you 3 females, one of which was 5 foot tall. So I thought, how am I going to put a 90-pound hose pack on this girl and expect her to go up a hill? Why don't we see if she's interested in fire prevention, right? Because she ended up getting flown out and going to an emergency room later on. That's knowing the result, right? Because you're running on so much light. So anyway, they ended up having great success. One of the girls that we trained went on to become supervisor, and one of the things that this crew was trained to be able to do was to put hose together in a way that was safe, efficient, and was able to knock the fire down in a very short period of time. So the Orange County Fire Department at the time, this is all male ego stuff, right? We make big money and wear uniforms and badges and all this stuff. I tried to see if I could put on a demonstration to show them their training department, right? That we had a method in which we were laying out hose that was more effective than the way they were doing it. See? So that's a test of knowledge. So it warmed my heart to be able to take a crew, because they had a lot of fire engines from the Orange County Fire Department out in an area where we were going to demonstrate this, okay? And these 3 girls, 2 other guys that I was with, laid out 650 feet of fire hose in 3 minutes and 16 seconds. Okay? So you can imagine with all the other guys who were going on that, that's 3 girls on that crew doing that. Yep. So what happened later in Grants Pass when I was told, bye, all the guys that I had on my crew, which was about 70 at the time, said they were going to resign if I was let go. It wasn't the physical body, okay? It had to do with the energy that they were experiencing, of the kind of energy that they were experiencing that had so much love, compassion, empathy for them, and realized, wow, this isn't a hierarchical, top-down, obey your master guy. Right? Right. Okay? We're together. That's love and service to others. We're doing this together for each other, for the benefit of love and service to others, so we all thrive. That's the lesson. That's sort of how a teacher can sort of walk into a situation and impart how light works. Leading by example, as people would say, because the light does what the light does. Love is what love does. That's who we are. Have a great day. Bye now.